Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today is game day for my team FC Tulsa. Unfortunately, I'm not playing, not in the squad. I've actually missed the last couple of games. I picked up a bit of an injury in a training session. I went knee to knee with another player. Thankfully, nothing too serious. There's just a lot of bruising, a lot of swelling, so it's a knee contusion, but all the ligaments, all the tendons and everything are not damaged. So we're just trying to let this swelling subside, just so I can have a full range of movement, let this bruising heal as well before I get into full contact training, and then hopefully be able to get back on the pitch soon. So unfortunate timing, I was starting to feel really fit with my groin. You guys know I've been recovering from a groin injury, so not an ideal start to the season. I actually did finally get some minutes for the team as well, so things were on a positive path. And then there's another setback, but that's football. It's up and down all the time, so you can't focus on what's happened in the past. You've always got to be looking forward, have a positive mindset. So that's my goal. I'm out on the training pitch today. Even though the boys are playing tonight, we are going to go to the game and watch, but I need to take care of my fitness, because that's something you lose pretty quickly when you're resting, is your fitness and your conditioning. The technical side of the game takes a lot longer to lose, but I need to make sure I'm staying fit, getting some cardiovascular endurance in, and that's what we're going to be trying to accomplish today with the ball for a lot of it, and also getting some running in at the end. So I've gotten all my drills set up. Huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, Squarespace is where I built my very own website, 7mlctraining.com, and from websites to analytics and marketing tools, Squarespace is the all-in-one place to grow your online presence and manage your business. So let's get warmed up and get some training in. So for those of you wanting to try this session out, I've put all the exercises as well as the repetitions on the screen. So before I go out and train, I'll typically write down every drill in my notes, as well as the reps and sets if necessary, just so once I get to the pitch, it helps me be efficient and productive with my time. Instead of thinking what I need to do, I know exactly all the exercises, I've laid them all out beforehand, and I can get right into it. So I always begin my training sessions with about a 5 to 10 minute dynamic warm-up, going back and forth, getting a lot of different movements in, just preparing the body for the training session. So I like to put my body through different movements that I might encounter during my session, some twisting, some striking with my leg, hitting some back pedals, some side to side, diagonal movements, all those multi-directional movements that a footballer encounters. We do this at a low intensity to begin with, to get the blood flow, get everything circulating around the body, so that when we get into more intense versions of it, we're less likely to pull any muscles, get any overuse injuries, and also we're going to get more out of our training session. If our body's fired up and ready to go, we're going to be more explosive, and we're going to attack each drill with 100% intensity. Then after 5 to 10 minutes, I'll go into some band activation work. So these just fire up those hard to warm up areas, especially in the hip flexors and the glutes, which take a little bit more to switch them on. If they're not fired up, another part of the body is going to overcompensate, and that's how you can get those overuse injuries. So I always like to switch those on and spend a little extra time. So for each of these exercises, I'll go about 10 to 15 repetitions of each, making sure I'm getting an equal amount on both sides of the body. I want to make sure we're balanced and equally warmed up in all areas, because we don't want to overcompensate on one side. Then after I've gone through some band work, I'll just get warmed up even more. So just going into some fast feet exercises to a light acceleration. I'm not pushing it at this point, still warming up the body, but just going a little bit faster than we did in the dynamic warm-up. So fast feet, coordinating my arm movements with my feet, just getting everything in synchronization, and then just pushing the ground away over about 5 to 10 yards. So not a long distance and not an aggressive acceleration. Again, just warming up the body gradually. We don't want to be getting any injuries. We want to ease into it so that we build the explosiveness over the duration of the session. And then towards the end, that's where we can really pick things up and go at full intensity. So for each of these exercises, I just did it once on each side. So we probably did about 10 accelerations in total. And by this point, I was really warmed up and ready to tackle the rest of the session. So as mentioned, today was all about getting my heart rate up, building my fitness with and without the ball. So to start with, I just wanted to get some dynamic ball mastery, so just some easy touches through the cones here, working on getting touches with all the different surface areas of both feet, just to gain confidence on the ball, improve my control, and getting a rhythm before we go into more intense variations of the same drill. So all I've done is place cones about 1 step apart in the middle, with cones on the outside to keep control and turn with, and then I'm just using all the different surface areas. So I went through using the inside and outside of my feet individually, then went through with the inside of both feet, inside to outside, and then we finish at the end with some sole rolls. So really trying to get touches with all those surface areas that you'll likely encounter during a match. You want to have good control with both feet, able to manipulate the ball in tight gaps and keep possession for your team. So nice and easy through this dynamic ball mastery. We're not going for speed at this point, just trying to get good control, good quality touches on the football. So I just went through that once. Then once my touches were warmed up, I went into my main dribbling activity. So I've got a gate where I'm starting with the ball, and then the cones in the middle are all 3 steps apart, so a lot wider. So this means I can travel a lot quicker through them with the ball. Still trying to keep control, making sure it doesn't get away from me and keeping it close to the body. And I'm using the inside and outside of my dominant foot, which is my right foot, because when you're traveling with the ball at speed over distance, typically you'll carry the ball with your dominant foot. When you're in those tight space situations where you need to manipulate the ball quickly, you can use all the different surface areas of both feet, so that's where ball mastery is really important. But when you're pushing the ball out of your feet and traveling at speed, you want to be as efficient as possible, so more times than not, you'll be carrying the ball with your dominant foot. So that's what we're focusing on in this drill. Just trying to get through the cones as quickly as possible, making sure those touches are controlled so it doesn't get away from me, which is easy to do when you're dribbling with the ball at speed. And then I'm weaving my body from side to side as well. So having to work on my balance, trying to take minimal touches in between the cones so I can get through as quickly as possible. Then I get around that bottom cone, then I turn, keeping the ball as close to the cone as possible and all the way back to the start, and that's 1 repetition. So I went through that one 6 times, and then I went into a progressive speed exercise. So I've placed down 5 cones, 15 steps apart from one another, and between the first cone and the second cone, it's a very light jog. Once you get to the second cone, you increase your speed a little bit, and you increase your speed at every cone, and between the 4th and 5th cone, that should be your fastest speed. So you're really trying to lengthen your stride, drive those arms and accelerate through the end. And once you get to the end, you turn around. Once you get back to the first cone, you're going to repeat in the opposite direction. So it's a continuous drill going at different speeds, so you are getting some recovery, but it's more of an active recovery this time. And I did 10 repetitions in total. So from one side to the other is 1 repetition. Then I turned, repeated on the way back, and I completed 10 in total. So a great one for working on the different tempo of your running. This is going to be important for a footballer because you're changing speeds all the time, but you're also going to get some fitness in with this one too. So turning and going continuously for 10 repetitions, you should find yourself getting your heart rate up there, and it's good to stride out at the end. It's really good for the hamstrings. It's a great way to avoid hamstring injuries. Then after 10 repetitions, I finished with a 1-mile run with the goal of completing it in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So I typically do 2 to 3 of these types of runs per week, either trying to complete 1 mile at 5:30 or 2 miles in 12 minutes or under. So it's a steady state cardio activity, not typical that footballers will go at one speed for long periods of time during a match, but it's good to do this type of running in addition to your football specific fitness. Steady state cardio gets your heart rate up, so that's obviously going to increase your cardiovascular endurance, but you want to be pairing that with more football specific running as well, like the activity I did just before this, where you're changing your speeds, which reflects the game of football a lot more because sometimes you're running, sometimes you're jogging, sometimes you're sprinting. Obviously, in these types of runs, you're at one speed for a long duration. So make sure you're doing this in addition to your football specific fitness, and that's where you're going to get the most benefits. If you're only doing steady state cardio, it will improve your fitness, but not your football specific fitness. So you'll find yourself burning out quickly on the pitch with all the changes of direction and changes of tempo if you're only doing steady state cardio. So back from training, so I'm going to make my post-training smoothie. I make this every single day as soon as I get in the door. It's just really quick and convenient and allows me to get some of those carbohydrates back in the body as well as some protein. Because when you're out on the pitch, your body's main source of energy is carbohydrates. So you're depleting those resources and you want to make sure you're refueling straight away after training. And also when you have intense training sessions, you get small micro tears in the muscles. So the protein helps rebuild those so your muscles get stronger and you get more powerful. So the quicker you can get those into the body, the quicker you're going to recover, and it's going to be better for your muscles, give you less risk of injury, and also help you recover and refuel for your next session. So in my protein smoothie, I have mixed berries. So I've got cherries, I've got strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Then I've got 20 grams of unflavored protein. It's just a powder which I put in there. I've got oat milk. Then I put a tablespoon of almond butter on top. And then to top it all off, I've been using this from the amino company. This is Heal. You guys know I've been working with the amino company. First, I've been trying out Perform, which I've been having before training to help me with my focus, my energy, my endurance, to get the most out of my training. And then I need to make sure I'm taking care of my recovery as well. And this is where Heal has been an absolute game changer. It's got that protein in there to help me refuel and also rebuild those muscle tissues which break down during your training sessions. And has a bunch of amino acids in it as well, which also helps with the protein absorption. So you're getting the most out of your protein and rebuilding it in the best way. And it also helps with the inflammatory process as well. So especially right now, I've got an injury where there's some swelling. I'm making sure I'm reducing that as much as possible so the joint is mobile, and also I'm getting back out on the pitch as soon as I can because I don't want to be resting too much. Obviously, I want to be making sure I'm protecting the injured area, but I don't want to be losing my fitness. I don't want to be losing my range of motion. So supplements like this can really help you. So in here, we've got some protein, amino acids, all the good stuff that's going to help you get back on the pitch as soon as you can. And also it's going to help reduce the muscle atrophy process. So when you're not training, the muscles get weaker. That's just a natural process. Muscles are stimulated through exercise. That's how they grow and they build stronger. So when you're not exercising, they actually get weaker. So this helps reduce that process. So if you're injured or you've just had surgery and you're not training as much, taking a supplement like this can help slow down that muscle atrophy process and make sure you're not losing all of that hard-earned strength that you gained through your training sessions. So I've been taking this. It's vanilla flavored, really delicious, goes well with mixed berries, one of my favorite flavors, and it's just such a quick, easy, convenient source of protein and amino acids straight after training. So make sure you check out the amino company. I'm going to leave links down in the description box below if you want to learn more both about Heal and Perform, which are both supplements I've been taking to help fuel me for training, both before and after. So make sure you check them out. The link is going to be in the description box below. I put it in the blender. And there we have it. So taste test. It's absolutely perfect as always. So that's what I'll have immediately as I get in the door. Then I'm going to rest for a bit, make my dinner, and then we'll go off to the stadium and watch the boys play and hopefully win. See you there. So back from the game, tough result in the end. Started off a little rough, obviously conceding all 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. You're not sure how the game's going to go after that, but the boys fought back really well. Very unlucky at the end, to be honest. They were on the attack time after time and they just couldn't get the finishing touch, but very positive, dominated the game for the majority of the time. They scored off a direct corner. They scored a decent goal, guy cutting to his left, good strike, and then they scored a penalty kick as well. So a couple of the goals arguably on another day wouldn't have gone in, but that's just football. At the end of the day, it doesn't always go to the team that dominates. But strong performance from the boys, unlucky, and hopefully we'll get a win in the next game. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Another huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, Squarespace is where I built my very own website, 7mlctraining.com. It's become the central hub of my entire brand. You can access my training programs. You can also access my Instagram, my other platforms, as well as my podcast. It really is the all-in-one place for 7mlc training. And if you use the link in my description, www.squarespace.com/7mlc, you can get 10% off your first website, and I couldn't recommend them enough. You don't need to know anything about coding or web design, and they'll help you build a professional looking website to represent your brand in the best way. So the team has off tomorrow, full rest day. I'm going to continue with my own individual training, try and work back some of that stamina, and then hopefully I'll be back in team training this week, full contact, and I can continue to get back in shape and hopefully back on the pitch soon. So stay tuned, I'll keep you guys updated as always. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.